And we are live. Hello everybody, my name is Salmon, and today we're trying to see how much of HOLOCURE you can beat without purchasing any upgrades. Now, upgrades as a concept I'm sure are quite well understood. I know there's a lot of upgrades in games like these. Vampire Survivors has a bunch, this game is no exception. Under these upgrades, there is a ton of possibilities, predominantly those being abilities. Under this rule set, we are not allowed to purchase anything in these tabs. This includes all the passive stats, which make the hard levels much easier, and the abilities, which includes our ultimates, our support items, our stamps, fan mail, fandom, enchantments, what have it. Basically, we're kind of surrendering a lot of our run to RNG, and a lot more to skill, because it's going to take a lot of effort to not die all the time. In fact, I'm not even sure how possible it is for some of the harder stuff coming up here. Go ahead and fix things up, and then we can go ahead. Alright, so, first thing that's going to be a problem here. So when we go to play, we have a lot of character options. Oh, let me, almost forgot to disable something. I count those either. Okay, so, coming up here we have a lot of options to look forward to. I'm not entirely sure which ones are going to be good. That's going to be something we just kind of have to figure out, but we're going to want characters who specialize in a lot of stats, who have a really good spread here. So I haven't done a lot of research into this. I know that Kiara is very good. I have high hopes for Ina. Bales I know is fantastic. Fubuki's my go-to for like challenge things. I've heard Callie is good, so we're actually just going to start with her. As I've heard, she has good stuff. I haven't played her since like 3 versions ago, though, so I don't actually know for sure. Well, looking through all these, you can already see, as you get through the 5 stages I plan on tackling right away, they already recommend getting upgrades in your speed and attack. I think the attack upgrade is not super important, but the speed upgrade definitely is, because faster enemies are a problem, and we are never going to be faster than the enemy. So these 5 stages, as it goes on, are going to be very difficult. I don't expect stage 1 and 2 to give much trouble, but 3 was kind of the apex of the game's difficulty a long time ago, and 4 and 5 only expand on that. So it is going to be quite difficult once we hit that halfway mark. Hard stages I haven't planned on yet. I don't think I'm going to do them, just because they are a lot of work, and as you can see, they actually recommend having the fandom levels up, and I don't have any of the fandom levels turned on. So I don't think these are actually going to be that possible. We might try them down the road, but I'm not certain on that. Right now though, I'm just going in with Callie. I'm not used to the slower movement speed, so this will take some getting used to. I've beaten this game quite a few times now, depending on how you quantify beating, I suppose. So I haven't restarted basically since years and years ago. Now we get to the first issue here. We have no rerolls, no eliminates, and no holds. No holds is not a big deal. No eliminates is a really big deal, and that sucks to have, because we can't get rid of items we really don't want to see on these runs. Other problem is, we can't reroll, so whatever we get here, we are just stuck with taking. None of these items are actually that good in my opinion, except maybe the bandage. So I'm just gonna have to take it, I guess, because I don't have a lot of other options. I've heard the Picky Pimin is good, but I don't actually know what Callie's skills are, so unless they do something with max health. I think the bandage is just the way to go. A lot of slow healing, but it is a lot of good healing. Mainly what we're looking for, though, is we're going to try and look for the water bottle to get up our haste and speed. And then from there, we just kind of hope for a lot of stat upgrades. Raven Feather is a pretty big find. We're going to go ahead and take that. It's not my go-to item, but any more attack is going to be important here because, as you can see, we are really struggling already to kill just some basic skeletons. So getting that item early is going to help us scale our attack better. And the extra revive is nice, if not super important to us. I can't even kill the chickens. That's actually crazy. I'm in for the long haul here. The main thing I'm worried about is we are going to have a really tough time trying to kill any of the bosses, because all the bosses have a lot of health, and usually the way through powering through those is through a collection of stamps and just really high stats in general, and we're lacking on both of those accords. Like I said at the beginning, though, I don't think this stage specifically is going to be that hard. I just think it's going to be a problem coming up. Rapper's pretty good. Doing more damage is always going to be helpful. I can see why Callie was one of the more recommended characters to try for this challenge. Just because she can quite obviously do quite a bit damage here, at least from what I'm seeing right now. I guess I don't know the full picture. My biggest concern for the long haul here is, like I said, we don't have a way of forcing certain items and getting rid of items we don't want. So we're going to want to get a bunch of items early on to try and fill up our inventory slots. That way our future level ups are going to only give us upgrades, basically. Because we don't want to keep getting new items, because the odds that we get an item we don't need are actually pretty high. So, Baby Idol Song. Not a big Idol Song fan, though, admittedly. I think I'm just going to keep going with our main weapon. I can tell that we're already kind of falling off, and without an ultimate, we don't have a crutch, so we just kind of have to play safe and go for solid, usable options. Now, I've done a little bit of research on this before, mainly just what characters are the best to use without abilities and such, with stat upgrades and whatnot, and I know that Minato Aqua is going to be our best bet, but I do want to save her for later, because I have tried a similar challenge with just using her, and it was very clear that she was quite good. So I want to try some other ones first, to get an idea of what I'm going up against. When defeating a target with a side swing or death, there is a 20% chance to create an explosion for 60% damage, 5% chance to KO. Sounds pretty good. Freeze target defeated, increase attack by 2% for 4 seconds up to 40%, refreshes duration on each target defeat. Workaholic sounds good. My only concern is that because we have such limited stats, that is going to fall off a lot once our kills become much harder to acquire. Other item here is Researcher's Coat. I think I'm already pretty good on XP. I just kind of get some more options for obtaining stuff. So I'm not too worried about our XP gain, because the glasses and maybe a future Halu could get us pretty far ahead. I realized I did forget to start recording, so I'm going to have to download the stream later, which is a massive pain, but it is what it is. Start recording now. No, we'll chill with it. So yeah, I think here, just try and get some skills. Gonna go for death. It is gonna help a lot in terms of extra damage, because even if we have troubles defeating targets, just getting one kill is going to help spiral into getting multiple kills. As you can see here, that good AoE damage is gonna come in clutch. I'm gonna focus on our main weapon, because our main weapon is going to be our primary source of damage for this run. For a decent ways until we can get some good collabs. I haven't looked into what the proper order is for items. I think a lot of people on the more competitive... Ooh, speed up. Competitive Spectrum tend to focus on getting their collabs right away. And I can see why, because a lot of the collabs are a lot stronger than the potential of your main weapon. But I'll probably look into that just as we play and as I fail, because I'm not even sure if I'll beat this first try. It's been so long since I've done a no things challenge, a stats challenge, that I don't actually know what it's like to play without stats. It's a lot slower than I'll remember, I can say that, but big on for XP glasses. Oh well. Unfortunately, with no viewers, it can be difficult to tell what my audio levels are. I tried doing some early balancing ahead of time, but, you know, it is hard to tell how useful it actually is. 10% chance to insta-KO on each attack? Okay, that's actually crazy. I didn't know that. Okay, Cali actually seems pretty decent. I'm going to assume it can't work on the boss here, because that would be pretty absurd if it could. But that is going to help a lot with our wave clear, because by far the biggest issue for these runs is going to be our lack of actual stats. So anything that can bypass stat checks, like instant death, is going to help us a lot. One thing I was surprised about when I was looking into this challenge for what version of the challenge I wanted to do, I've tossed a couple ideas around. This is the one I settled on for now, unless it turns out to be too easy, which I don't think it will. But the one thing I was just surprised to learn is that the ultimates are an upgrade. It's crazy to me that you don't start the game. So, Gorilla's Paw is normally a pretty meh item, in my opinion, just because that crit chance loss is pretty big, but because we already have the Raven's Feather and the glasses, we are going to scale a lot with attack, so I think getting the attack damage is good. However, my concern is that we aren't necessarily doing a lot of damage, per se. A lot of our kills are just going to come from instant kills and enemies exploding, and I don't know if enemies exploding qualifies for the Gorilla's Paw effect. I don't actually know what attack damage source is from in this game. I think that scales with the character skills, so we are going to take it. I just don't know if taking it is actually a good idea or not. But we will take it. I think it'll work out, in all honesty. Focus on getting a study glass. So probably a waste to not go for the scythe here, but I think it should be fine. Ian's Curse is a really good item. Again, that's going to help a lot with our damage. And since we get a lot of insta-kills, it's going to bounce between a lot of enemies. So it could be a good option, but yeah, we are going to go Fan Beam. Or, what right pick's there? I already forgot. Glasses, maybe? No, I picked Fan Beam. Oops, I did not mean to pick Fan Beam. Here, so like I said here, now that we've got quite a few items, we actually are pretty well off in terms of what we're going to get each upgrade here. Because odds are it's going to be things we already have. I think the game has systems to prioritize giving you upgrades for things you already have, which is great when you don't have rerolls. So I think I might get Ian's Curse just to get it out of the way, because I think we are going to take it. I don't think I have much collabs that unlocked. My collab tree here, unfortunately, isn't very full, because I haven't gone on my way to get them all yet. So I don't actually know ahead of time some of the things I'm going to try getting, and I don't really know what items are the best. I'm approaching this from more of a casual perspective. As we get into the run and we try doing the harder stages, I'm probably going to focus a bit more on getting things we need. Ninja Headband is huge. Increased speed and damage melee weapons, that's a huge find. Speed especially is going to be a big deal. What we're looking for now is a couple possible options here. we have good attack scaling, as we have a lot of damage items here. We got the Raven's Feather, Gorilla Paw, Glasses, and Ninja Headband are all going to be damage. Face Mask is a really big find, but I don't know if we want to get that or we want to get a Halu for more enemy spawns, because more enemy spawns are going to translate into more XP, and we actually don't have an upgrade that gives us more XP. So we are coming at this at a disadvantage with the further ahead stages. In this one, we've not expected to have the further XP growth, so it's not a big deal, but I think the face mask will become a staple item down the line. Question is, do we replace it? Because ideally, we find a Halu for more enemy spawns because we have the glasses, which gives us more XP on enemy kills. Mixing those two things together is a really big deal. So I think we actually do skip it for now and try to find the Halu, because the speed up here is really important. We are now at 44% plus speed. This is an okay speed. This is about the base speed for when you're playing the game traditionally. I think the base upgrades get you to 60% speed. So this actually is a pretty big, sizable speed increase. We're almost at what it's like to have max stats. So we're looking good. We can actually outrun most of these enemies here. Fan Beam is helping a lot because it's keeping the boss away from us, because we are lacking majorly in damage. So having tools to keep enemies away from us is important. It's one of the reasons I'm a little weary about choosing Callie, because the cutting board will not be able to save us, and the cutting board is, in my opinion, one of the best items in the game. Finally get Workaholic. That's going to give us a bunch more attack. And it does seem to be actually working quite well. So at least in this early stage, I don't know if it falls off later or not. My assumption is that it does, but because of how much attack scaling we have right now, I think we actually could be fine. Lava Bucket would be nice, but I think we're going to pass on it. Focus on getting Gorilla Paw leveled up. We have completely abandoned any chance of crit, but because there's no stamps dropping, we can't really force a crit build regardless, unless we really wanted to heavily itemize for it, which I'm trying to avoid. One thing I've already noticed compared to playing traditionally is that, as I thought, because we don't have rerolls, we're getting a lot less items that I am hoping for. Which is to say, I like to try and get my items out of the way early and focus on finishing leveling them up before I try and spread my build out. And this is quite different, because in this I can't choose when I'm leveling things up most of the time. I just kind of have to pray that I am leveling things up. And the order is not ideal, because in this case I would much rather have the glasses fully leveled by now. GWS Pill is a throwaway item. Unfortunately, we're never going to be able to use this well because we never have a special meter. I'm actually surprised it can drop, but I guess there's just no video game logic for it. We're just going to go for the death here, try and focus on getting kills. The bandage is a solid option, but right now we're not ever in a fear of dying, so we are fine. Item-wise, we're still looking for the Halu. If not, we can transition into the energy drink if I find it, because the energy drink is going to give us a lot of possible sustain, because even though our health will go down, our speed will go up, which is a equivalent in my eyes. Now, funnily, I don't actually know what Callie's ult even is, so not having it here does not particularly bother me, because I've never seen it anyways. Corporation pin I've actually seen a few times now. I have not figured out what the purpose of the corporation pin is. I'm assuming there's some really good character niche interaction with it, but I've yet to ever find anything on it. Like, I have no clue what this thing could actually be used for. We could possibly be using the bandage or the bouncy ball here, because Calliope does benefit from it pretty substantially. My only problem with the bounce ball is that it's one of the only items you can't really control. One moment, please. So, sorry about that. Preparation pin, yeah, like I said, I don't know what's going to work here. Bounce ball, I think on its face is a good option because it is going to benefit a lot from us. But the problem is, like I said earlier, I don't know anything the bounce ball can get us here. Oh, it can work with the end curse. Okay, I think they're going to take the bounce ball then. Get it out of the way for now. Because hopefully it will help us at some point. Yeah, and the bounce ball is huge from Calliope, so that is good. It's just probably my least favorite item to try and utilize because we just can't predictably get it to help us. Also, this enemy attack pattern is kind of bullshit. Yeah, any slower there, I think I probably would have died. Speed is such a criminally bad stat to be missing that was quite scary. Spider cooking is another great option here. Spider cooking, because we have like no movement speed, it would help quite a bit, but we don't have any future collabs that aside again from Ian's curse. So it would be probably a bad idea to take it, even if the combination here for the Eldritch Horror actually would be really good. We could try and move over, but then the bouncy ball doesn't have a use. I'm stuck with a few items that I would never want to use. So I think we keep going the bouncy ball route. We skip the spider clicking for now. Plushie is pretty big, but we also don't have any substantial healing of any type, aside from just having the bandage. So I'm not sure if the plushie is a good pick here. We'll go the wrapper. Movement speed buff. I'd rather have upgrades on things, but having, like, it's not really a choice. We gotta have more movement speed, which is why the a future water bottle, if we can find it, sport water would be a really big find. Even if it's not a Holu, I would be totally fine with it. It's because of how, there it is. Okay, so because we haven't found the Holu yet, I think we just have to devote to it. Get their drink. The max HP loss is pretty bad, but increased haste and speed by 40% is huge, because now we're at 106% speed. I can actually outrun things, and we're at a very good pace here. Again, the only fear is that I don't really have much in the way for healing. If I ever get myself trapped, I am kind of just dead. Missed the Ninja headband off. Moment. Alright, we're back. About to hit the halfway point. So far, there's only been one point where there's been any scary thing happening, so we're looking fine for now, actually. So, Callie does have a bonus crit thing. Unfortunately, we literally cannot take advantage of it. I hadn't known that. I don't know if that would have changed my plan, perhaps. If I would have still gone for it, for the Gorilla's Paw, had I known the Raptor would give a crit, because that only would come out to about 30% crit, which is not ideal. But we do have a lot of attack scaling, so maybe the Gorilla's Paw was a bad idea. Probably on future Callie runs, if I keep up with her for now, we're not going to take it, but I don't think it's a massive loss. Workaholic is good, though. It's a lot better than I thought it'd be. We are consistently getting kills. I hadn't really thought about how strong the insta-kill was, though. To be fair, I actually didn't know about it before going into this. So ideally, we actually get a bunch of enemies just next to the boss. That way, when they are killed, they explode and damage the boss as well. Boss is knockback resistant. First knockback resistant boss, I think. So can't cheese it with the fan beam, unfortunately. Something that's also become evident, I have no pickup range, which is really, really annoying. Oh, that was quick. Forgot how chill these first stages were. Speed up again? Actually crazy. Okay, now we're actually really fast. In fact, I think the water bottle is unnecessary in this build. Or maybe the ninja headband could go. Because the haste is quite nice for the bottle. But we're kinda chilling right now. I don't think it's an optimal build. I don't even have the glasses maxed out, despite having them for the longest, practically. Now I get it, which is nice, but a little unfortunate on the timing. More items already. Okay. Pushing through. It is really satisfying to watch them all just, like, disappear like that. Moment. Alright, let's bring them back now. Items here. We actually have literally all good items that we want. I think we are going to take the study glasses, just because we should get them out of the way, so we get their benefit for longer. I'm actually, like, almost uncontrollably fast. It's been a while since I played a character that can run like this. Yeah, I didn't know Callie would be so fast, actually. I figured she'd be one of the slower characters, so I thought for sure that these speed items would be necessary. And to be frank, I think they will be quite helpful down the line. When we get into harder stages that don't have infinite room, because in these infinite area stages, I don't have a lot of fear, to be honest. We can kind of just run forever, kite them, no real big deal. But once we get to stages that limit our movement, we're going to be screwed, because our lack of damage will become much more apparent. Energy drink is big. Can actually finish energy drink here off. I don't think the sight swing is actually worth maxing, because it predominantly, a lot of our damage comes from the insta-kills, and our attack multiplier is just kind of killing things for us. So I don't Well, Tech Multiplier makes it stronger, so I don't actually know. It's probably worth it because the extra damage is going to be a lot, but it is hard because we do want to start working on getting our collabs finished. The rest of our remaining items are just passively helping us, and they're not going to help us get more kills, so I do think we want to shift to an item focus, or a weapon focus. I'd probably focus on the items a little bit too long here now. Speed was quite nice there. I made that way harder than that had to be, but that was nice. Whew. Death. We finally finished Death. The higher chance of KO is actually huge. She's a lot better than I thought she was. When I played this game with her last, I think it was version 0.4. And she must have gotten a lot of buffs since then, because I do not remember her being good at all, in fact. I consider her like the worst of the EM branch at the time. So this is pleasantly surprising. I haven't revisited much of the early EM branch in this game since I last played version 0.4. % success rate. Cool. Cutting board. Again, we could diverge builds into a cutting board bouncy ball build, and I think that's actually going to be the play once we get onto the end game, because we're going to need much more defensive items rather than offensive. So I think the Wall of Hololive collab will become necessary down the line, but as it stands right now, I think we don't need it, and we can just go the Rapper. Now we're really going to start seeing a bunch of wacky upgrades when we level up that I don't really want to see, because we've finished upgrading all of our items. So it's just going to be weapons and stat upgrades. And I kind of want to fill our weapon row just so we stop getting potentially bad weapons. But I also can't really see where this build is going, since I don't really know the effectiveness of much collabs at the moment. I think a Black Death collab actually would be pretty good here, because of our... I guess damage is the wrong word for it, but it is effectively damage just because of our insta-killing. For a chance. So like I said, we're going to see these stat upgrades more now that we can't get items. We're just going to focus on finishing the fan beam now. I recognize this is a pretty bad game to do my first ever stream on, because, you know, no one really watches HOLOCURE aside from people watching their HOLOLive talents play it. So I am just kind of streaming to an audience of no one, and in fact, I'm talking to an audience of no one. But this is just like, it's such a fun game, and I don't think I've seen challenges on it much. When I looked into some videos of challenge runs online, I saw some runs for like never upgrading your weapons, or your main weapon as your character, and I thought that was cool. But the harder part I want to do is I want to make this into a video, and in that case, it kind of needs to be a topic you can just relate to, you visually understand it, without having to actually know the source material much. I think, like, can I beat HOLOCURE with no weapon upgrades? Is interesting, and it is a speedrun category, but it also wouldn't be that digestible, I think, to some people. I don't think I can kill Golden Yagu here. I don't have a way of killing things without insta-killing things. Oh, I got him! We need to buck out of there. That ain't happening. We can stop upgrading the scythe. At this point, it's 80%. I'm not really gonna trust it. we're just going to get the fan beam done. Extra movement speed, unnecessary at this point, but we are going to take it just because it is quite convenient, and I've never been hurt by having too much movement speed. Back effect on bouncy balls is pretty big. We just gotta dip through this. Yeah, I don't think we can stay in there. It's gonna take us a while to heal through that, but that's fine. Moving forward, I think the Nurse's Horn would probably be a better option for Callie. Because again, we can chew through these common enemies pretty decently. In fact, I don't know what characters I'm going to cycle through in this challenge, but I think Callie might be a mainstay, just because that insta-kill is going to solve a lot of our issues. And if you insta-kill everything, you don't really need to worry about your damage. You can kind of focus on other things, which is why I think my build here is going to be... It's great for bosses, because we do have the damage now to kill bosses, but we are kind of sandbagging in the sense that we have a lot of overkill in our items. Where, you know, I don't want to have no damage and never kill anything, but we also, because we're insta-killing things, don't necessarily need to have all this extra damage. That said, the explosion on enemy deaths, I think, does scale with our attack damage, if I remember correctly, so when that's the case, I might be wrong with my assumptions. I had to sneeze, and I still need to. Oh, that hurt. So we got into the thing I was afraid of here. We're slowly getting to items we don't want. I don't think the Hollow Bomb is ever going to be helpful for us. Ideally, we want to get something new here, but the Hollow Bomb, we're going to be combining... We need something for the Fan Beam. And the Fan Beam has two real options. The Dragon's Breath, if I remember, is pretty good. I haven't seen the Stream of Tears in a long time. The Glow Sticks, I think, is fine. But we have to wait for one of those items beforehand. So it is kind of unfortunate we maxed the Fan Beam first, because it's probably going to be the last item we collab. At least, like, in terms of the three we currently have. So like in this instance here, all the attack damage we have is great for killing this boss, because otherwise we would just kind of be tickling it to death. My fear is just that, yeah, it's like it's kind of unnecessary for the general gameplay loop here. That was risky. So, of the systems we've turned off, I think the stamp system is probably the hardest loss, other than the character ults perhaps, but I think the stamps add a lot of fun to the game, and not having them is genuinely a little sad. Because there's so much build variety that the stamps add, and not having that build variety is kind of bad. Especially getting those larger attack stamps and haste stamps would have been really helpful for this build. And I can understand to a point why they're not actually part of the base game before upgrades, but it is sad. I think if I were the developer, not to like backseat develop, I probably would have made them a base system. I understand the point of introducing people slowly to the mechanics, but it does seem a little strange because it is a pretty integral system. Though even worse than that is definitely not including the ultimates of the characters, especially because the ultimates of the characters can be read on the menu while you're selecting them. So for them to be unlocked is really weird to me, because you have to play a run before you can use character ultimates, despite character ultimates potentially being one of the reasons you choose a character. I'm probably overthinking it a bit, but it just is a little odd to me. Here we're not getting really any kills aside from insta-deaths. These guys just have too much health. Okay, with Ame here, having this speed buff against Ame is going to be quite nice. It is definitely unnecessary. We have a lot of overkill when it comes to dealing with this stage. In general, I don't see this challenge being particularly difficult, like I said, up until the, probably like second stage, roughly. Or past the second stage, I should say. I know the second stage does have some pretty awful bosses to deal with, and because we don't have support items, we can't ever use the dash item to get out of a tricky situation, which is a really big loss. But I also played before the dash systems were even added with support items, so while it is difficult, I've done this before, essentially. Not without upgrades, but upgrades also, I don't think were quite as all-encompassing back then. I think there were less upgrades. Yeah, this is the part here I'm pretty happy to have some attack damage for, because literally the only thing that's stopping us from beating this right now is just our pure damage. And there it is. I got an achievement too. I don't know what achievement I was missing. Must have been something with Calliope since it was her icon. But that's our first run. We did get half the coins because we used the feather, but we never even had to revive. So, like I thought, first challenge, not too hard. Just to make sure, no upgrades here, no stats. I do have G rank turned off, but that's because I don't think this system should be including that, so I think that's a fair change. So we continue. I think I will come back to Callie. Now that she's proven herself as a pretty fantastic option for this, we will revisit her on some of the harder stages once I actually have to struggle a little bit. Because before I struggle, I wanna keep trying new characters that I wouldn't otherwise think about. Next is Hako's Bales. As you can see, by my G rank, I've used this character. You know, I've invested in her generation quite a bit because I think Hako's Bales is genuinely one of the craziest characters in the game. But we'll see how much that changes when you don't have upgrades. I feel slow as shit, though, even as the fastest character in the game right now, as Bales is. The other thing that's just mildly inconvenient, which I find quite funny, is my lack of pickup range. It's not something you ever really have to actually worry about, but it is really annoying when you're missing it. So, my only hope early on here, perfect, this was literally just what I was about to say. We want the energy drink. Every run, I think, is going to be starting with an energy drink here because it's just so powerful when we have literally no speed. Right now, we're already back to a pretty decent speed. Definitely not where we were as Calliope, but we are now much faster than the enemies. We can actually thread between them a little bit. Now, there's a few items we never actually even saw last run, which I think could be important to us. Beetle, which we didn't see, is not going to be important because we can't use... Hakos has no character skills, Miss Bales, that are going to be doing increased damage, if I remember correctly. So we just want to find Iris Soda to try and get our crit damage up, because Hakos is all crit damage, as you can see here. Harbinger of Chaos is unfortunately kind of useless because it does help us with the crit chance, obviously, but we also can't benefit from the special meter gain. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Be a quick pause here. A little bad, but I do want to post my stream on the HOLOCURE server. I don't think they allow that, Advertising is allowed to a specific extent. Okay. We'll look into this quick. For not bragging, but I do want to promote it at least a little bit. Looking at this, they say advertising is allowed a little bit. I don't actually know how much a little bit is in this instance. Maybe the HOLOCURE highlights? Flex your game statistics here? I don't know if that's really really allowed for my thing. I'm gonna just have to roll with it. As much as I'd love to post my stuff here, I'm just gonna have to deal with the fact that my streams for a while are not gonna find any viewers until I do some other stuff for it, which is fine because this is all just going into a video anyways, so having the no viewers is not really a problem for me. I talk to myself all the time anyways. Oh, yeah, there it is. You may post any videos of streams or yours in hashtag no access, but nowhere else and nothing else. Well, that's fair enough. That answers that, because there is no longer a channel to do it in, so we're just gonna have to live with it. That's fine. It is what it is. We ride till dawn. Back to the gaming. Sorry about that, me. I think for now we go for the down under, just because we want to try and get some utility in our build. I don't think down under is that important of a skill, if I'm being real, but it is nice to have. Nurse's Horn. So Girl's Paw, obviously off the menu. Nurse's Horn is pretty good. I don't know what our build is going to look like fully, so I don't know how important this is going to be. Especially because we have almost no HP in the first place, so I think a better option is to maybe skip it and go Body Bag, but we probably do want to have 2 health items anyways, so we'll probably just go Nurse's Horn Body Bag. I'm not generally a fan of going double support items, but this challenge is kind of going to have to force us to do that, since we can't really rely on just avoiding enemies forever. Eventually, if I was perfect, yes, I could just avoid enemies forever, but until I become perfect, I am going to have to focus more so on minimizing my risks. Jelly donuts. Oh my god, the people are coming to eat the jelly donuts. Critical hits roll the same percentage chance against to deal an extended critical hit. This is the basis of Bales' kit. Having the lack of built-in crit chance through upgrades is a massive loss on Bale's damage, which is why I'm not certain if she's good for this challenge. But we are going to take it. It's not going to ever basically show up until we get some more crit items, in which case we're going to need a lot, because since we're lacking stamps, our only way of attaining crit is through either passive stat upgrades, which are only 2% increases, or 3% maybe, and items. So we're really going to have to focus on items. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of crit items, in all honesty, that can really help us here, because unfortunately we are going to be always low on crit chance. Which is why I'm a little sad about the Nurse Horn Thunderstorm body bag combo, but we don't really have a huge choice since Bales has almost no HP base, especially with Energy Drink. Like you can see here, we're already taking a lot of damage, so. Under. See ball. Gonna skip it this time. Why are the people teaming up with the jelly donuts to eat me? They should just eat each other. No. I'm used to, for those who know, there is the, ooh. It's not worth it. The, stage 4 hard mode is, like, really, really hard, because it's constantly raining down lightning everywhere that will basically insta-kill you. In fact, if I were doing that stage right now, I would instant die to lightning. Because I have no way to get out of its vicinity in time because my movement speed is so slow, and I have no dash. So whenever I see red circles in the ground about to explode, I'm just conditioned into freaking out and thinking it's lightning. As you can see here, we're already running into a little bit of issues now that we lost our infinite space to run around in. We can... Oh, here we go. Oh, not plushie, never mind. I don't even know what combines with potato, to be honest. So we're just going to go Nurse's Horn. Even though I'd rather get items in right now. Anyways, like I was saying, infinite horizontal range I think is far worse than infinite vertical range. So I do think this stage is a bit more challenging than may meet the eye because I don't know if it's just me, if I'm just like going crazy, but I just don't think horizontal distance is that good to travel. I just think vertical feels better to me. I don't know if there's like an actual math reason for that or a game sense, or if I'm just going insane. Soul Dagger isn't going to be helpful for a while, but if we combine it with Black Plague, we actually could get some really decent damage out of it, since Bales can get some really sneaky kills. So I do think we go Owl Dagger here. Although, no, we're going to get the crit chance. Yeah, we're at 20% crit chance here, and I haven't even seen a non-yellow number. Oh, wow, okay, well, never mind, there's reds. Yeah, we don't have much damage at all, honestly, unless we're really lucky. So I'm a little worried about where this build is taking us, but Ian's Curse will take. Gonna help with our AoE clearing. Bales' kit is a lot of RNG dependency, but I'm not super worried about it, just because I think she is so strong, even with pretty low number odds. We just really gotta work. This is huge. We really gotta hope for better crit chances, because the crit is really what's holding us back here from using Bales to her full extent. Because the difference between not critting at all and critting even once is major. Just because our chances of re-critting, or of getting higher tier crits, are dependent on us getting a crit in the first place. Focus Shades, huge, absolutely necessary for ranged characters, especially in this case where we don't have much crit to start with, so it's just a really big buff. Gonna come out, I think, to either 10% or 20% or 30% crit once fully upgraded. So that's gonna be really big in helping us get what we need. Next, we're looking for probably Iris Soda, and then for defensive item, we could be looking at a body bag, or body pillow, I think it's called. I don't remember. Already much more consistent red crits. We're looking good. Got some attack patterns here to dodge. I'm failing miserably because I'm scared. Actually down under the boss to sneak around it. That was clutch. That was really good because I was not going to be able to get around him otherwise. Well, if I'm not wrong, when enemies are red like this, they're taking the effect of the focus glasses, where they take damage over time after we crit them. It's not something that actually does that much damage, because their base damage is actually decently low. But it is quite nice. It's just a nice secondary effect to help with enemies we can't normally hit, just because of other enemies being in the way and whatnot. This is a pretty shitty draw. Gotta go Ian's Curse. Right about now, I really want to get some more items. I don't really know what we could use. I want more speed, but I also don't want to devote an item to a speed slot. If I didn't go Nurse's Horn, we could have gone Asakoko Injection mixed with the plushie, or no, the body pillow for the shield, and that would have been pretty good. But I did commit to the Nurse's Horn, so there's no going back now. Theo's Tears I think we could take, because it is going to be a good investment. There's some pretty decent options there for combinations. I am missing some. We could go CEO's Tears. It's going to help with some of our damage. Specifically, it's pretty good at getting us some stray hits in here because our build has really good focus damage, but we don't have the best AoE. We do have good piercing, which is why I think Bale's is quite strong. We don't necessarily have infinite pierce, but because our dice become physical objects, if enemies run into them after they've been thrown, they will take more damage. So, while we don't have infinite pierce, we have kind of infinite pierce. Theoretically, I suppose. A pseudo-infinite pierce. So we do have the capabilities of getting a lot of hits off, but our area of attack is just not that big. Especially compared to characters like Mori Calliope. Take the crit. Again, we want to max out crit as much as possible because the difference between critting and non-critting is the difference between sometimes like 10 times damage, basically. Operation Pin and Limiter Pin is useless. Injection type Asakoko, had we started with this and gotten the body pillow, I think would have been a good option, but otherwise the Nurse's Horn is just, you know, it's going to weigh us down with that. So, I know the onigiri, the purple ones, are for okayu. What are the normal onigiris for them, with the black designs? Study glasses. We are almost halfway, so it is a little late for study glasses. So I think we will pass on it. I'd be more interested in getting the lab coat. But, although, that damage bonus would have been nice. We'll live with it. Of course. Okay, here I am quite nervous. And the under is helping here a lot. Sending the enemies down to the outback and putting them upside down is helping free me from these otherwise pretty awful patterns to deal with. Finish play dice. Not gonna go above that in upgrades. We are getting purple numbers, so we do have 40% crit. I don't think that fully shows the extent of our crit chance. I'm pretty sure that doesn't include focus glasses. So we do have, I think, an actual percent crit rate of 70%, which is quite a lot. That is going to be enough to help us get triple numbers. Bales is really good damage here, so I think we should be able to get some pretty quick kill in Sakura. Only fear is, yeah, those attacks. She can output a lot of damage pretty quickly, if I'm not being careful. The only saving grace I would say is that because we can down under her, we can get around her decently well. The only other fear is that her model is absolutely massive, and I can't see what's behind her. One of the only big complaints I have with this game is that these bosses, you know, I don't know how they'd fix it, but it is like, when I'm beneath her, I just can't see anything else. Halfway mark. We're gonna take it because it's a free item, but otherwise it is unfortunate because we're gonna have to play a bit closer range once we upgrade it, until we can get it to the Black Plague with the EN Curse. It is what I wanted, so I can't be mad. We would have to get it eventually, but it just actually owning it and wanting it are unfortunately different things. Body Pillow, there it is. It's what we've been missing for defensive items. Now chill. 2 item slots we have for our aggressive items. If there was another good speed item that could give us some secondary stats, I'd probably go for it, but as far as I remember, we kind of have literally all the speed items. There's not a ton of speed items to go for, because we don't have the melee weapons, so we can't get the ninja headband. Does limit us. Purple crits are quite satisfying. That's probably my favorite part about Bales, is that I definitely feel like I'm playing Warframe just from all these colored crits. Yellow, orange, red, purple. Only downside is I'm still seeing some white crits and white hits in there, so we are losing a bit of damage just to not having the crit chance maxed, which in a normal build, had we all the upgrades, our crit chance actually would be maxed out by now. So we would be getting all purple crits, I think. Because we are at 70% crit. The upgrades, I think, get you to 30%, or maybe 20%. So we'd be getting a lot more damage here, but it is what it is. You know, can't really do much about it. I'm going to focus on the Owl Dagger for now, since our shield is doing us well enough. We're not quite at the fear of death yet. That's a little scary. I was pleasantly surprised by how quickly we killed Sakura mini-boss there. Now, I said it was going to be pretty quick, but I actually didn't really have a measure to say that with, other than just misplaced confidence, so I'm glad it actually turned out, since I have not tried this before with this stage. But Bales' crowd control here is really, really visible with the down under, because even though the 25% chance, or maybe 30% chance that it is not super high, because we're hitting so many enemies all the time, and because we're bouncing back into enemies again, we are getting multiple of those chances rolled on average. Base Mask could be a really good pick here. Increasing the haste is obviously pretty good, so I do think we take it. The 30% more damage is rough. The Body Pillow does take away 10% of that extra damage you take, so it's only 20%, but it is a scary item to have. But I am somewhat confident in our build. I think we're doing alright. The last item we get should just ideally be a speed item. This here is why I was a little scared for shops. I think cutting board is a solid option here just to help cover my back. Don't know a lot of options. I know obviously there's the Bone Bros. I think we go for an Eldritch or a Bouncy Ball. Or, oh, I'm thinking of the wrong item here, sorry. Cutting board. Okay, cutting board. Can't go... Oh, wow. You have no options with that, huh? Let me look up a collab list. I think I am missing one with the cutting board still. Yeah, I'm missing the flattening board. I think we could go for that if I take the cutting board. The question is, are we going to get to the thing next collab by the end? And the answer, I think, is no. So I think we're just going to go for crit chance. I can definitely see us getting the Owl Feather Black Plague figured out first, but because we didn't take any XP items or faster growth, we can't realistically get a second collab item in time. J-Pill level 3 is huge. Here I literally have to take a item, so I guess I'll take Hollow Bomb or a weapon. Reduce damage taken by 30%. When attacked, there's a 75% chance that the attacker and all targets in 6 pixels take 30% damage. Disregard how bad reading that was. This normally is a pretty bad item, I think, and the Super Breastplate, I think, is no different. I don't think we should take this. It is quite handy in terms of survivability, but we don't want to get hit just because our HP is so low that we can't really risk it with this build. So I've never skipped a super item before, but we will be this time. So ideally, I want to find another item that can help get us some more consistent damage and or consistent speed. That was really neither of those things. Body Pillow can be upgraded more. I actually thought it maxed out at 3. That's nice. Here, again, down under, coming in clutch, as usual. Stunning Yagyu like that? Crazy. Free item, Body Pillow maxed out. Now, all we can get is a new item, or some weapons. Unfortunately, since I can't control what we get, I really can't decide if we get the collab to finish out our run. Just have to get lucky that our next upgrade is an Owl Feather. Where things get messy. This is an evil part of the run, in all honesty. Yep. See there? The Super Breastplate probably would have been good. That's a part of the run where, unfortunately, we're gonna be biting the bullet on. There's no real way around that because we don't have the dash support item. We don't have a ton of damage. I think all that could have been different there is I couldn't have finished my items earlier, and I could have skipped the nurse's horn. But yeah, I was dead there basically. Unfortunately, while I do think our damage is lacking, I think our damage is gonna be lacking regardless because there's no Bales is our theoretical peak damage really, so. Trying to get more is going to be hard, to put it lightly. Next best bet, Iris. I've heard good things about Iris. I've used her a couple times, mainly just to get the Iris soda item. Her damage hasn't actually changed a lot from not having the upgrades because her base damage is already quite low. So the percentile upgrades from the shop are not super important to her. Hope Soda is a really good starting item. I will happily take that, even if we don't have a use for it yet. Base crit chance is only 5%, so it's not perfect, but we will roll with it. Hope is nice. With Hope, there could reasonably be a defensive build that we use the headphones with for the 35% chance to resist damage on contact. Ooh, her early game is rough. Holo is goated. We're struggling too much though, as is, so we kind of have to skip it. I'm hitting like what? 1, 2 enemies? 3 enemies at a time? I think it's 3. Here, as you can see, our speed is a problem. Yeah, the crit soda was a bit of a mistake, in all honesty. Headphones, that's actually what I was talking about earlier. We gotta go with the Pierce, though. Actually, I hit more than one enemy, more than a couple enemies at once, so that's pretty big. Killed myself here. Oh! Do I heal normally? I don't think I have any healing unlocked yet. We're gonna take it, but I don't think I have any healing. I think I'm missing the skill. I'm pretty sure it's like healing on hit or something on kill. So until I have that skill, this is kind of useless, but there wasn't a lot of options. I'm actually amazed we killed the boss that quickly. Pierce through targets is huge. Study glasses already. That's a good find. Pretty early into the run, considering we don't have any... Oh man, you can go Researcher's Coat too? That's... Wow. I think we skipped the Researcher's Coat, but that is quite nice. Pull the attack up. Even though I said percentile upgrades aren't super helpful yet, because of how low our base damage is, it is nice because it is our only way of increasing it. That's not a permanent debuff, per se. We might be in trouble. Oh! Dude. Oh. Need these guys to leave me alone. Oh my gosh. I just feel so slow. Everything is much scarier when you don't have movement. In fact, the next pincer, and I'm dead. I'm dead. What do you know? I called it. Does Iris not have very good base movement speed? 1.5. No, she does. It's just, without speed items, I'm quite slow. I definitely feel the pain of not having the want. Sorry about that. We could look into some other characters here. I think Bales is one of our safe picks. Her and Calliope seem like great options. Could try Gura. I know she was really good at one point. I think she got her kit redesigned, so I don't know how she plays since I last played her. Fubuki is really good. I just fear that we're never going to have damage to kill anything because her main thing is that she lacks damage, and stamps are a really good solution to that we just don't have since we don't have stamps. We try Mio next. Mio's one of my go-to for harder challenge things because her consistency is just really good. Having an infinite pierce projectile right off the bat is really nice. It does hurt to throw away our last run, because the glasses so early on was actually quite clutch, but I couldn't clutch up. Focus Shades. We're not necessarily a super crit focus character, but it's just kind of hard not to take. The only downside I see with Mio here is that her omens are really good at forcing the ultimates to come back faster, since she gets her ultimate faster the more often she crits, or gets an omen, but I can't use an ultimate, so part of her kit is just kind of not functional, unfortunately. One of the reasons I think that the character ults not being part of the character's base kit is dumb, because some of these characters just have stuff like that built into their kit that you don't, like you can't control, can't use without having that unlocked. Now, it is only 500 gold, so after doing literally any amount of run, you would be able to unlock specials, but I do think it's just a strange way of having things. Let's get the omen out of the way. It is just going to help with the damage in general, too, so... the omens... the omens kind of remind me of the Giga Chad memes. I don't know if that's, like, what it's referencing, but I just, like, every time I see one of these, I think of, like, Vine Boom, Omega Giga Chad. And it kind of makes me laugh thinking about it. It is... or, like, the I ain't gonna sugarcoat it meme, and it's just, like... person spamming something in a fighting game. Find. Ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Getting good luck on these study glasses so far. My only fear right now is that we still don't have any movement speed, so we are in trouble if I can't get a sport water. The only reason we're still surviving is because Mio's basic attack is just so strong. Her kit is just so well synergized with itself that even without the ultimate, we just have a lot of options to take care of things here. There it is. Energy drink. Sucks to miss the last glasses upgrade for now, but we are, like, doubling our speed, so I'm not too mad about it. Huge, more speed. Doesn't take up an item slot either, so we're chilling. Take some damage. It is always scary because at the moment, we have no way of healing that back. I haven't unlocked Mio's healing skill yet, just because I think it is unnecessary. Devil's Hat is completely useless to us. I've actually been thinking about this item. It does have no use, so that is unfortunate. 4 cards. Sweet, tarot cards are unlocked. This is going to be, yeah, massive range upgrade. Extra damage, we're chilling. Fearful Left, get some more damage in because we are going to need more damage. Classes are already giving us a pretty good damage, so we're doing well there. I might, if I can find the Raven's Feather, I'm probably still going to get it as long as it's within under 6 minutes of the in-game timer, because it is a good item that's going to give us a second chance when we die. And the attack scaling on it is very good. This is, to my knowledge, the only item in the game that has infinite scaling. The glasses are finished. Sweet. That's probably the most important thing we could have done, so at this point we could start focusing on getting weapons, because right now we are just focusing entirely on my main kit. I'm gonna go for the Mama upgrade and get some healing. I do think Mama is an extremely bad skill. For now it is our only healing, so we're gonna have to roll with it. Up until it's maxed, it just doesn't have enough range to be utilized to any real degree, in my opinion. Blue outer ring there is the maximum healing range, and since we're not really wanting enemies to be that close to us, we are just kind of in harm's way trying to get the healing, especially because we'll just kind of kill anything at that range. Huge triple item. Wow, all weapons. Okay. We're gonna take CEO's Tears and Cutting Board. I think we're gonna skip... I don't think any of these items correlate. Oh, we got Stream of Tears, that's fine. Stream of Tears is good. The other one, the Cutting Board, we're just gonna have to live with. I don't think it's super effective on Mio. I think she's just average. Yeah. We'll take it, I can't complain. 3 items, don't have to level up for them. And we did get a natural collab with those two, so that is good. Stream of Tears is definitely not my first pick when it comes to items, but will do. And Beam we can leave unupgraded for now, because all we need from it is the knockback effect on bosses, and I think it's just built into the weapon. My only real fear here is that Mio has no way of getting out of trouble. Oh, Beetle's really good. I forget, does Mio have... I know the Omen gets affected by this, I'd assume, so I think this is actually a pretty decent option here. Especially because it scales the character level. Yeah, we'll go for it. Probably a bad idea. Cheerful Laugh I don't think affects this at all, but gonna make the Omen do a lot more damage, which I think is definitely worth it. So the Omen is our best source of AoE damage at the moment. It's a crazy amount of enemies. Do I have any healing yet? I do, but like, I do, just only the one built into my skills. So I'm not liking my survivability here. There's some decent speed, which is nice. The speed is definitely, I'm not going to complain about that, that's for sure. Actually, see, my main weapon has a chance of slowing enemies, and you can see it there. It is slowing enemies. We get Omen maxed out because we are focusing on the Omen's damage for our damage. Scary. Okay. Oh, super item. Hopefully not the super breastplate like last time. Super headphones. So, this is good, for sure. It's not the best super item we could use. I think it does alleviate some of our issues with our lack of healing, but it definitely isn't... I do think regardless of having that, we do still have to get some sort of support item still. Ideally, it's one that increases additional stats other than just health and like regen and whatnot, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Bill's finished. Hard as the last time. Jay chillin'. We should be seeing the Macro boss show up soon. That's a little scary. The wall is what's not collabing here, so we want to look for a wall one. Unfortunately, that just leaves Ian Curse for Bone Bros or Wall of Hololive. I think we're going to go for the Wall of Hololive if we can find it. Raven Feather is what I talked about earlier. I think it's a little too late to focus on this. It is going to be 6% attack every minute, so by the time we get to the end boss, it's going to be 66% attack. I think it might be a little late to go for it. But because we don't have any healing still, which is a really big issue. We just have 40% chance to not take damage, which is definitely good. You know what? No, we'll go for it. Because we also don't have any attack right now. So having that attack scaling will be nice, because it'll make our Omens do more damage. Could have gone with the face mask instead. I think the face mask would have been a decent option. Ooh. Sweet. Done with card upgrading. I'm gonna focus on getting these tiers maxed out. As you can see here, we're doing a lot of damage pretty quickly, though I'm not super worried about our damage at the moment, because our Neo as base character can do a lot of damage even without all the stat upgrades. We don't have the most crit in the world. We have plus 1% crit for some reason. Our crit went down, but we do have, I think it's roughly a 30% crit chance with the aids. The important part, though, is that the crit is not actually that important to us. We're really just doing a lot of damage to these Omens, and the amount of attacks we're doing. In a perfect world, our character haste would be very high, because we want to do attacks as much as possible. But unfortunately, haste isn't an easily modifiable stat. And we killed that boss faster than we even killed her as Bales. So I have pretty good faith in this. Fearful Laugh is max, we're going to have more damage. Got the Sunglasses is adding a bunch of bonus stats. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be showing on the attack stat. I think it's because it only affects your main weapon. But we are looking good from that. We did obviously very clearly kill that boss quite quickly, so again, I'm not super worried about our damage. It's really just avoiding the enemies that's the issue here. We don't pick a new item until we find the bouncy ball. The Eos Tears is nice. It's not really doing a ton of extra damage, but it is convenient for sure. Some base damage on some enemies I'm probably not targeting. Here's where Omen's gonna come in clutch. Yep. Climb boom, climb boom, climb boom, climb boom, climb boom, climb boom. Dum dum. Oh. Here's our next. Okay. Well, we haven't gotten to the part where we died as Bales yet. I think that's actually coming up here. As it stands right now, we're doing alright. Our healing range is quite a lot bigger, so if we do end up taking damage, as long as it's not a ton, we could have a decent chance of healing a lot of it back. In fact, now we're at max healing range. Now it's a pretty respectable skill here. I think its base range is pretty miserable. Okay. Here, I think, is where we had some issues. Maybe? No, not quite, I guess. Ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Cutting board maxed up. Oh, we want to find... I forget what I'm mixing gears with. It's Fan Beam. Fan Beam. I should be leveling that up. Remember correctly, the Fan Beam CEO tier collab is mostly a defensive item, just because it pushes enemies back so much. So mixed with the Great Wall of HOLOLIVE, we actually should have a pretty strong defensive game, which is good because our defensive options on their own are not that great. Get Fan Beam leveled up. I usually ignore Fan Beam, so I kind of forget to level it up, because it's one of my least favorite items in the game, in all honesty. Mainly just because when I first played the game, your attacks were locked to whatever direction you were facing, and I'm pretty sure the Fan Beam at the time could only fire directly left or directly right. It was only horizontal. I don't think it followed any sort of cursor, because at the time there wasn't a cursor. I might be misremembering. I could just be remembering old Vampire Survivors as well, because I played both. Another anvil. That's actually kind of crazy. And Beam's almost max. That'll get us our first collab of the entire run, actually. I can get it here, that is. Just gonna be in a bit of a pickle. And Beam. Nice. If I don't die here, holy shit. I risked that all for something I did not need to risk my life for. That was not worth it at all. God. Okay. Get some Stream of Tears. And now we actually have some pretty decent survivability from this, because it's just going to keep pushing enemies back. It is going to harm our healing a little bit, since we're not going to have as many enemies in range to heal from, but it's a nice passive healing, or passive pushback, and we can kind of just chill with this. Yeah, I'm not getting any healing here, because there's just never an enemy in range to heal off of. Mio's kit, as good as it is, the Mama upgrade for healing is just not consistent enough to be your actual healing. Ultim Yagu. We can kill him here pretty easily, especially if he runs into a wall. Okay, this is where we died last time. Take the sausage. I'm pretty sure, or around this area. I think I saw the bouncy ball there. I should have got that. But yeah, now we have the crowd control and the damage to deal with this a bit better. Even just the slight pushback the CEO's Tears gives, it's not very much, but on, like, when you really think about what it does, that is a pretty massive change for us. Where I died last time. Got enough damage to break through it. That is probably one of the hardest parts of this entire game, honestly, for patterns, just because there really is no way through it unless you are able to pass the damage check. Because you're just screwed if the enemies just keep rushing at you and you don't really have another option. Movement speed. Run through all these things quicker. I really wish I had some pickup range, but a lot I can do about that with no upgrades. We killed it almost like instantly there. That was quick. Did, yeah. 4 minutes left. We're chilling. Getting nervous now because now I'm past where I got on Bales. But we are looking good for the time. Cutting board maxed, almost. One more and then we get the final upgrade. Final upgrade for that is going to create 2 more walls, and that's going to help a lot defensively. I'm worried about every pattern I see coming in now, because I don't remember the stage very well. Any really bad pattern where enemies are forced in on us, and we don't have the movement speed to outrun them is, like, really, really bad. Because we just simply don't have the tankiness to survive an onslaught, and if our headphones don't cancel out some damage for us, we just are dead. We just gotta play this smart, we just gotta kill everything that poses a threat to a quick escape. Additional cutting boards on all sides, actually a huge upgrade that's gonna get a lot of these monsters off us here. Here again, we got a bit of a scary pattern. The patterns in this game I feel are that hard to dodge, except for some of the really late ones in some harder stages. But your survivability really depends on what enemies are killed ahead of time. There are some enemies that just want to fuck you up just by running straight through you during in a pattern. You, like, really gotta have the damage for it. Oh. Kill you in time? Should. I have a lot of damage. This should be fine. This is just an absolute stat check right here. Please. Okay. Okay, I didn't need to be worried, but oh my god. I panicked. I haven't seen that since I last did this stage like 4 years ago. Oh my god. Once you get to stage 4 hard mode, another one of those guys appears. And that one is a lot tankier than that one. Are they all coming in from the left side? So right now, the build clearly is doing its job. Mainly through the omens, I think. That I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, Vine Boom, Giga Chads. Because they are just like... They do so much AoE damage to the beetle for the character skill damage that they just kind of fix our problem of having such a narrow attack. Because even our CEO's Tears with the... CEO's Tears, even with the massive beams going around us, are still fairly narrow in terms of Vampire Survivor's attacks. So getting these omens that have massive hitboxes are helping a lot with our AoE here. This is what I was worried about. Every single one of these is pretty bad for us. And just gonna get in the way of our upgrades. We are gonna take BL Book because they do provide a slight bit of knockback, and we need defensive items. Our attack is perfectly fine as is, we just need defense. I also need to survive 20 seconds of this. It'll be fine. Yeah, the extra damage we're getting here from the Omen and the CEO's Tears is making this a lot better. Final boss. Final boss. Well, actually, I don't know my HoloLive lore extremely well. This is the... He is the shopkeep girl, obviously, from the menus, but... Oh, okay. Jesus, I'm so bad at patterns. No! Okay, no. We can talk about this in a minute. What the fuck? Why am I supposed to dodge that? I guess like this. Okay, I like really need you to die, like right now, because I don't have any healing for you. I can't see because the goddamn Giga Chads! What is happening? Please die, like right now, like right now, like right now. My Giga Chads are too buff. Let's go! Oh my god. Oh my god. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I am playing it up a little bit. But oh my god, it's terrifying for these last final bosses, because if you fail, there goes 20 minutes of your time spent on literally doing nothing. Just okay, so we're in the clear. These two first stages, I figured were gonna be the easy ones, because these don't really say, like, they don't really warn you about, like, oh, you don't have enough upgrades or whatnot. You look at these, they recommend some faster speed and higher attack damage, but, like, it's not that necessary. These two stages have been beaten time and time again without upgrades, just by new players. Stage 3 to 5 is when things get tough. Back when the game first really launched, stage 3 was the hardest stage in the game, and this is where it starts getting tough, because now there's no infinite vertical distance, and there's no infinite horizontal distance, so I can't simply outrun the enemies. And this stage in general is just really hard. There's a lot of collidables, there's a lot of furniture in the way, it gets tough. So now is where things actually start picking up. It's crazy though, because like a part of me really wants to go to the upgrade menu, give in. Like, no one would know, right? No one would know. Especially just because not having the character's ultimate attack is just so dumb. I don't know why it's a shop upgrade. But it is what it is. You just kind of roll with it. The characters next, I've heard that are good for this. We did Callie, we did Bales, and we've done Iris. And give me, I literally just forgot who we were playing. Mio. So, of my list for characters I think would be good for this, we have just a couple remaining. Fubuki, I think, potentially could be good. The only scary thing is that she herself does basically no damage, and her kit revolves a lot around getting certain stamps. And because stamps are disabled, we don't have a way of achieving a lot of damage. So she's good in most challenge runs, just probably not ones where you don't have stats bonuses. I know Mume is probably going to be our next pick. I've heard she's very good. I know, if I remember correctly, she infinitely scales on stats. So she is a good option for this. Aqua, I've tried before just to make sure this challenge is possible on the first stage. Aqua's very, very strong. And she's probably going to be our last-ditch pick if we can't figure things out. From what I've seen, Zeta actually isn't well-received in terms of strength. Maybe it's just like an old patch thing, but in my opinion, she's one of the better characters in the game just because of on-command invincibility, infinitely piercing gun. Like, I don't know why she's not considered good. So I think we'll pick her later. And that's kind of the end for what characters I know are good to just do without upgrades. Generally speaking, I think the characters that are good with upgrades are still going to be the best characters without upgrades, but I think there is exception. Again, I think Fubuki's a good example of that. Fubuki relies a lot on having higher health and higher speed, and not having higher health and higher speed is really bad for her. But, I don't know. I'm not professional. We'll just go with Mume. And maybe it's to celebrate her graduation. It hurts, but it is, you know, it is what it is. So here, as you can see, the game recommends us to have at least 3 speed upgrades and 3 attack upgrades. Personally, this is where I agree with the upgrades. I think this is definitely the spot where you probably should have some by now, but we will run it. Feel slow as molasses. Not having the water bottle. It is unfortunate with these runs now where I feel like not starting with the right items is going to be the biggest bottleneck to these runs. Because it's just, without rerolls, without eliminations, it's really, really hard to get the items you need. And when you don't have a speed stat to help you survive, you're just kind of left at the whims of the game. So hopefully we can find a sporty water soon, or some sort of speed upgrade. Study glasses, second upgrade is a huge boon. I just gotta make sure I can survive this now. The game wants me to succeed. That's already a great sign. We're at the downside now. Okay. Run through that. Oh man, I can't even kill a bat? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this is so sad. Okay. Okay, I'm losing confidence 3 seconds into starting this. I'm already nervous. Use bird feather to do some power. Our power is so shit already that I don't think this is super helpful. We'll take it. The beetle thing friend can pick up things for us, so that's good. Attack increases for every target on screen. This is, thank God, this is what we need. We can do damage. I think this is already basically double damage, so that's good. Now, I don't know how reliant Mume is on her ultimate. I haven't seen much to suggest that she is super reliant on it, but it is her get out of jail free card, as most ultimates tend to be, and I don't have that now. Bloodthirsty is good, but 20 stacks of kills actually does seem a little bit difficult. It's only for 10 seconds. I don't think I get that many kills that often. We'll go for it because it'll help get the ball rolling since it gives us higher attack. And that higher attack should then translate into more kills, but I don't have a ton of faith in it at the moment. And see the icon on the bottom left. Oh, so okay, so you can't stack it while it's actually active, which is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping you could. But I was wrong. It does seem pretty easy to activate, and that bonus attack is clutch, because right now we don't have much damage at all. Oh, I want to upgrade the bird feather, but study glasses are just such a great thing to get early on. As long as I'm not struggling a lot, I think it's always worth grabbing. We are going to be right there, struggling a little bit. I got lucky. I just kind of happenstance dodged every attack. Oh. Raven Feather is a great item to get now, because we don't have to upgrade it, and that 6% is just going to keep going up, so I think it is worth it. I'd feel bad taking it in these runs. I don't really know what it is, it just kind of feels like a wasted slot, even though it is a really good item. Other study glasses. Wait, max study glasses, we can get a new item. New item! Who'd have thought? Okay, well, okay, so now this is the problem. We have healing guys. I'm gonna struggle to kill, because the healing guys can actually almost out-heal my damage. It's really bad, so I need to focus him down, but he is hiding right now. Without an ultimate, I don't have a way of forcing an interaction on him. This is definitely going to be the biggest issue with the future stages, is once we get to these special enemies that have to be prioritized on killing, we don't have a great way of getting to them, because our damage is lower and we don't have an ultimate to make up for whatever our main fire lacks. In this instance, I'm really lacking in single target damage, and I can't kill him easily. I'm dead. Should have seen that coming. Okay. I will admit, I did definitely walk myself into the corner there, so that is 100% on me, and not the game's fault, even if it was an annoying pattern of enemies. We'll take responsibility on that. But I would like to get a sport water so I can be dumb, but like be dumb faster, at least. So I can see where the infinite scaling comes in. After you get so many kills, you get more attack. But without stamps, I really don't know how I can accelerate my damage much. Oh my god, I walked back into it. I have no healing. Oh, Hope Soda. Hope Soda... Does Mume crit much? I don't remember seeing a crit skill in her kit. Mume. HOLOCURE. I feel bad. One of the things I really wish this game would implement is a way to look at my skills while I'm selecting my items, because when I'm playing characters I don't know very well, I don't know what I have. Yeah, I don't have crit in this kit, and base crit chance of 5 leads me to believe that Hope Soda would probably be a waste, because we already have 2 attack items that are going to be taking up slots. If we wanted to go the crit route, we'd have to go Hope Soda and Triforce Goggles and something else, which, to be fair, is our standard build. Triforce Goggles is the basis of basically everything, so it still might be worth going for. I don't know. Uber Sheep also could be good because our healing is pretty bad. Picky Binman, we don't have special attacks, so I think this item in general is a bit worse. The increased main weapon damage is nice, though. Or we just attack 8%. But we do scale on attacks, so we don't really need a bunch of that. I think we go Hope Soda, we go for a crit build. Admit, I was overthinking things. Crit is king. All I need to do is find the crit. Something I am quite bad at. I think we hope here for a feather upgrade. Huge. Home into targets? Whoa! Okay, I haven't seen that before. That's sick. What the hell? We still don't have crit. I don't know why. I shouldn't have taken the dumb soda. I don't have any crit yet. I can't even utilize the item properly. I'm hoping it comes back to be like really good and like, haha. I knew ahead of time that would be a great decision. But right now I'm feeling kind of dumb because I do not benefit from it in the slightest at the moment. Still haven't found soda yet. I would really like to find soda. Sport water. Sorry, I have soda. Okay, I actually have good range now. I think I can kill the healers pretty reliably here. Yeah, okay, no issues there. Sweet, that was my main concern. We solved that. I don't actually know what Mume's lacking here. I don't play much Mume, so I don't know what's going to prevent us from scaling well here. I think it's just because our base damage is quite low that we might struggle. Also, this boss is the stamp. The haste stamp. I don't know who that's referencing. Very Hololive gamers. Uh-oh. A little bloodthirsty. I want to attack. I'm a greedy man. I want more damage. Wait. Okay, yeah. So definitely it seems like our damage actually isn't going to be a massive issue here. I don't know what it is going to be holding us back. Hollow would be amazing. Hollow would be great for XP, but I think this challenge is actually really scary for Hollow. Because every enemy is so much more threatening when I don't have the speed to escape them. So I think we're actually going to skip that. Let's go. It keeps leveling up the Hope Soda. We really, really want to find Triforce classes because we really badly need crit to make my Hope Soda actually worth having. Also, I forget that friend can use our items. I should have bought a second weapon a long time ago. Because now he has the stew around him. I feel like it'd be funny to take the Owl Dagger, but I don't know, I don't know any of the Owl Dagger collabs. I should look this up, actually. I have one of them unlocked. Bloodlust and Black Plague for Ian's Curse and Psycho Axe, respectively. I think I kind of have to take it. Normally in this instance I wouldn't take it because I don't ever want to be close to someone, but I am playing the character it belongs to, so I have to take it. I'm dead. I'm so dead. I'm like so dead. I'm not dead. I've never been more alive, actually. I'm so good at this game. I have noticed, I don't think Friend is using the Owl Blade to attack. I don't know if that's because it isn't compatible with him, or he just only uses one extra item. Oh! It's good here. I think... So, something that's interesting with low stats is that our health pool is like actually like really small. So items like the Nurse's Horn and Body Pillow, I think are actually better than they are traditionally, because they heal they protect a smaller amount of flat health. Nurse's Horn isn't that important if you have like 1,000 HP, but when you only have 60, healing 2 HP per kill is actually pretty decent. Same thing with the Body Pillow. The Body Pillow becomes a shield that is effectively over half our health. So I think either of these are actually pretty good picks. I think the Body Pillow is the better one, just because I can't force myself to get a bunch of kills. I just kind of have to trust that my kit can do it for me, but the Body Pillow will always be there to get me shield. There's no activation condition to it, so I think we go Body Pillow. But that will now kind of get in the way of trying to upgrade old items. Boss! And Bloodlusted, so we'll target him for now. I know I'm just asking this to myself, but is Mume like a big, like, horror game player? Is that why she has like so much like bloodlust and whatnot? Like I know. Oh boy. Okay, never mind. I've seen her play Civilization before, but I assume that she has something to do with like horror games and whatnot, based on how much of her kit is designed around her being like scary. Maybe does she do like creepypasta readings? That actually would be kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. We're cooking. Huge, huge. Actually saved by the Body Pillow there. I think I would have been left at like 3 HP otherwise. I'm dead. No second wave. We're huge. Okay, we're back. We're so back. Actually, all these are pretty good items. I think we keep one the Body Pillow. Normally I'd upgrade the Iris Soda here for more damage, but because we still haven't gotten a crit item, the Iris Soda is doing literally nothing for us. It has no drawback because we have no special for it to reduce the cooldown of, but it also has no benefit because we just can't crit right now. Minus the 5% of the time we do. If I find a beetle, is it worth taking? No. Okay, no. Mume has no skills that do deal direct damage. I actually really like the spider cooking on the friend. I think it's really nice because my biggest issue with spider cooking is how small the area it affects is. So having that second AoE is actually, like, that seems kind of clutch. Also, is that double anvil? Huge. I think once we get the knockback upgrade for the spider cooking, we will be fairly strong. I think it's a good defensive mix there. Also, Shuba Shuba Duck is a really bad boss to find here. I keep an eye out. We don't have the speed to dodge the rocks if they spawn in an unfortunate... We don't have the speed to dodge this! What the fuck? Anywho, we don't have the speed to dodge the rocks falling if they are a bad pattern for us. I just gotta remember to run straight if I can, because running diagonals is very slightly slower than running straights. I'd find... I'm a little worried about our health situation here. Okay. Good body pillow. I didn't need it at that moment, but I probably will need it soon. I'm not mad. I'm dead. Oh. So that's a good showing of why the speed upgrades are so necessary because I didn't have a single speed upgrade there, and unfortunately, I think with me choosing to go down instead of hanging right, I did not have the speed to outrun him in like literally any any possible condition with the direction I chose. So it is my bad, but it also is just an unfortunate fact of not having any speed. For speed items, unfortunately there's not a lot of options. The Stolen Piggy Bank is one of our better, just like raw speed items, but unfortunately it is a really bad item, and it does not help me whatsoever in terms of like actually doing anything, so like I don't really want it. Energy drink is the go-to, and it is the absolute go item. If we can start any run with energy drink, we have like, I like guarantee like 50% chance, higher chance of surviving that run, because the speed benefit of it is just so good. And our HP is already so low that max HP by 20% isn't that bad of a reduction. Otherwise, that's like, I think that's it for speed items. Unless we're going melee, we can't take Ninja Headband. Otherwise, we're just kind of throwing. I'm missing 2 items, but I don't think any of them provide speed. And I don't think there's a single other speed item in the game. Yeah, so our speed has to come from our character's base kit, or we get it from the Sport Water, and maybe Ninja Headband depending on our character played. Otherwise, we are just kind of hoping for the permanent stat upgrades that add plus 12% speed. But I do think the challenge's hardest thing that I don't think is actually that really apparent on face value just is how important the speed actually is, because a lot of characters don't actually need that high of speed stats or speed skills, because the upgrades you get for your speed I think equivalent to like 60% bonus speed, and at that rate you actually can dodge I think basically everything in the game, as long as you're not super unlucky on some patterns. So being forced to pick characters that have speed upgrades is kind of just like an unfortunate fact of how this run has to be played. Like, the main thing that surprised me with how good Callie was for this is that she has such a high speed upgrade from existing, and because she's melee she gets the Ninja Headband gear, which means that of the 2 possible speed items buffs we can actually apply 2 of them. Fubuki again is really tempting me right now. I think we could try a Fubuki run. I've never gone for a direct running into enemies build, but I think she is the character to use the breastplate, and so we'll try it. I don't have the most faith because she is really dangerous to play simply because all of her damage comes from running face first into enemies. So I'm a little worried on that, but before we begin, I'm gonna go get some water quick. And then I can hopefully beat Stage 3. My goal tonight is to at least beat Stage 3. Stage 4 I could see us potentially beating, because I don't think Stage 4 is actually that hard, if I remember correctly. And Stage 5 I have mixed opinions on, so we'll get to that when the time comes. I'll be right back. Alright. Wow, voice crack. Sam and Salmon is back. Hello, Douglas. Douglas. I'm a little nervous about the Fubuki run, because she is probably my favorite character, and I don't want to let her down. Is it the hard mode of the stage that has? I swear that normally there's like a box that spawns up top that has an item in it, but that must be just for the hard mode. Oh, hiccups. So, we're looking, ideally, to try and find headphones to make it so we can ignore damage on a percentile basis that we take. Our whole thing is that we're going to be bulldozing into enemies. We can basically forget we have a main weapon, because Fubuki's main weapon is atrociously bad. Beetle is insanely good to find. That's a crazy first item to get, basically. I still want an XP glasses, because I think that's the most important thing we could find. But Beetle is probably second most important item to find. So that's going to increase the damage of our collisions. Yeah, you can see here that Fubuki's damage for these starting portions is pretty decent. But it is going to fall off a lot because her tail simply just doesn't really scale that well. It does pretty low damage for a melee weapon, and doesn't scale very well with upgrades. It doesn't get a lot of damage percent bonuses, so we are just running with a kind of neutered main weapon, which is fine because Fubuki's main thing is definitely not her main attack. It's her growl that she gets when colliding with enemies. But the lack of ultimate as well also means that we're lacking in damage when we don't have our skill up. When we don't have that buff in the bottom left corner, we have no way of dealing damage later on. So our damage is only going to come when that skill is activated. Also, the skill cannot crit, so we can ignore all crit items, which is a rare thing for us. I'm actually kind of happy about that, because it means our build is going to have a bit more variety than usual. We could go Picky Pikmin and try and get some health stuff going, but no, never mind. I think it's worth it. Forget what I said. I'll also try yapping a bit less, because I do talk a lot. And I'm nervous, and I'm always nervous in this game. When I'm just chilling. I think Halu actually could be worth going for here, because you know what? No, I think it's worth going for, actually. We're gonna have a couple of free item slots, and this is gonna make the game harder. But we have the beetle. We just gotta get the cones for the attacks, and then I think we're good. Although, we don't have the sunglass. No, we don't have the XP glasses, so I think we actually are going to skip it. The XP glasses, the item just is great, but it is going to not get us what we need as effectively. And I don't know if it's worth doing with the 5% stronger bonus. I think that gets like 25%, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I don't think Fubuki's tail ever gets knocked back, so we don't get much defensive value out of her tail attacking in both directions. I might be wrong on that. A little bit since I've done a full Fubuki clear, since I've been trying to do the challenge stage of hard mode 4 for a while. Also don't have a way of killing this guy, because I still haven't gotten the upgrade that lets me hurt people by running into them yet. I'm just gonna have to circle him until he gets close to me. I think we bite the bullet. Just run through these guys quick. Yeah. This wave we're gonna get. It's open. Still don't have a way of dealing with him. Can I please get the buff? Oh my gosh, this is bad. I'm not getting the skill that lets me deal contact damage to enemies. So I'm just a gal. I may as well just be spraying them with water, because I just don't have any damage yet. Yeah, okay. Lost our buff. That's fine. It's not fine. Oh! I can't believe I survived that. It's not fine. It's not fine! I'm so screwed. Please. Please. No! I don't need more attack size. I need collision damage, please. Please. I can't, it doesn't matter how big my attack is. I just need damage. It would be nice getting the tail max because I do get an upgrade that lets me deal a little bit of damage that's independent of what I'm hitting, kind of, but like the attack size, as you can see, the tail's level 6 and it does, I think, 2 more damage than the first upgrade variant, so like it doesn't scale all that. And as you can see, I'm not killing the golden Yangu either. And this healing guy is still alive because I don't have a way of killing him the moment. I cannot get the cone out to kill them with. In fact, I think it'd be better just to hit the guys that are outside of this little circle so I can try and actually kill them and get some XP. This is where the lab coat would be quite nice, although since I'm injured it wouldn't provide much for the upgrade. Taking so long, I've spawned a second mini-boss and a second healer. Wow, okay. Yeah. I'm not killing anything for a while now. In fact, I don't mean this in the literal sense, per se, but I think I might be soft-locked. I gotta pray. Okay, I didn't level up. I was gonna say I have to pray for the upgrade to give me cone. Cone. Oh my god, it finally happened. Okay, it does suck to miss the final tail upgrade, because that is quite helpful, but fine, we can kill things, ideally. Okay, I got a couple kills. I didn't kill the healers. I'll have to focus them next time. But already, we did damage, which is something we could not do before. Yeah, the difference that makes is incredible. And tail upgrade. Okay. We are almost good now. Didn't kill the healers again still, but I did kill one of the mini-bosses, so I called it a win. Body pillow will be nice. That would help make sure we don't overstay our damage, our thing. But it's a convenience item, basically. It's not going to help us do more damage. It's just going to reduce the possibility of us failing. So we'll take it, but I'm not super happy about it. I think now I want to start looking for raw damage items, because this deals 125% damage. I think all damage weapons or abilities scale off our attack bonuses. It's the main important target again. I really just gotta run straight at the healing guys. I'm beating around the bush too much. There we go. Okay, so this, we are reducing our speed by 10%, which is really bad, but reduced damage taken and a 50% chance the attacker also takes 200% damage. It's pretty big, because we are constantly hitting enemies, and I think it works even though we are technically dodging the damage. Do that. We do want to look for a band-aid. I think the band-aid is our best bet, because the Nurse's Horns, we're not getting kills very often, so the Nurse's Horn is not going to be super great. And we're just going to loop these all in. And they draw close. Circle up. Some kills like that. I did waste my buff. I gotta hope it just comes in clutch here. Yep. Sometimes I feel really smart, and in that moment, I felt like a genius. that felt good. That felt good. It was not something to brag about. It was very simple, but that felt good. Managing my cooldown like that. We could go for an Uber Sheep. Trying to get more food items would be clutch here. I'm dead. Oh, right at the end. I tried doing it again. Yeah, you know what? I got too cocky on that. I was... I wanted to catch lightning in a bottle twice. What can I say? Perhaps a wee bit unfortunate. We like to do a little bit of crying here. So, from that, I think Fubiki, if I was a perfect player, if I could play perfectly, no mistakes whatsoever, I think Fubiki is potentially the best character to go. But because she's so punishing, because you can get yourself stuck so easily, I think she's a good option, but she's not necessarily the best. Of the best I think there is, I think Mio is still my GOAT. I think Ellie was surprisingly good. So we're gonna try Kiara next. I've heard she's quite good for similar challenges. Weaponless challenge, I think she's in a lot, so we'll try her. She does already have a pretty big attack range. I don't know. I think it's slightly bigger than Fubiki's base. Maybe it's not. It could be about the same. But it just feels good. Also, glasses first item, actually huge. If we wanted to, we could try and get a Holo here. Moving gradually heals 5% HP per 5 seconds and increase attack by plus 2% every second. Is she, did she go for a tank build? Is that how, I don't know how Kiara builds even a little bit, so it sounds like she could, I'll just see other skills, but that sounds like it could be a pretty decent tank item build. Speed up, we're gonna take that. I would have much rather had study glasses, but we cannot skip out a speed item. Speed upgrade when it shows up. Bullet. keep trying to attack the bats because I'm used to these, like, screen following, kind of like the chickens. I'm used to being able to kill them quite easily, but they don't die very easily in this. So I feel kind of empty. That's their thing, is dying easily. And then I go to attack them and I just kind of cry because I'm just kind of staring at them while they fly by and laugh at me. Okay, so this, I think Trailblazer is the reason she's good for itemless. Burning Fire that deals 30% damage per hit, lasts 5 seconds. So again, I don't really know what scales entirely off damage, but it sounds like Gorilla's Paw could be a good item here. Because Gorilla's Paw is going to multiply that damage, I think. I don't actually know what Gorilla's Paw actually does, to be honest. We're gonna get Dancer now. I could really use a healing source right now, regardless of how small it is. No, does these fires, like, stack at all? I think they do. It's hard to tell, actually. I don't know. Yeah, they stack. Okay, that's good. The glass is level 3, very nice. Okay, yeah, I can see why she's good for itemless here, because this is respectable damage at a very safe range. Take the Idle Song. Not a big Idle Song fan, but we will take it just because it's free. I think my buddy really likes the Idle Song, but I'm not actually really sure why he does. Maybe it's really good. I don't really know what would make it so special in his eyes, but he's a big fan of it. So my main fear here is something similar to Fubiki's, but unlike Fubiki, I can't dive in and kill the healer. The healer will never really run into my fire much, because he's always going to just run around the enemies. So he's basically never going to be burning. Not like a lot of my damage comes from the burning, but it'd be nice for him to just walk into it. I actually quite like Kiara's kit. This is fun. What was I doing? Okay, I did not interpret that they were going to kill me. I was lucky I had an invincibility skill, because I just did not think about that whatsoever. Does Beetle increase the damage of the fire? I remember the fire wording. I think it says deals 30% damage, so I think Beetle should affect it. And since I'm not building crit again, I can kind of... Yeah, it's definitely affecting it. I can have some free item slots here. I'm playing melee, so I gotta get Ninja Headband. That's a given if you're playing a melee character. Otherwise, no Ranger Glasses, which helps save on space. No Iris Soda. This is bad. I'm still quite slow. Yeah, my fire feels pretty strong, so I'm happy about that. Gain a shield that absorbs up to 40 damage every 15 seconds the shield refreshes. Also reduces damage taken by 50%. When the shield is full, heal 10 HP every 3 seconds. Okay, that does... Bird is engulfed in flames and can hit many times. Also leaves a burning fire under hit targets. That's insane. Hell yeah, that's really good. Body pillow seems quite good, but I was kind of planning on having a build where I just purposely tank. Ninja headband! I don't know how I feel about that now. Purposely tanking, because if I take a bunch of hits all the time, I'm never gonna have a shield to heal with, so... I don't know why I keep using the word say. Yeah, keep going down study glasses. I'd have liked to have completed it earlier, but I kept getting good items I wanted to find. So I think we can skip the sport water now, actually. Although we only have 42% speed. The problem is, speed is just such a good stat that if I find sport water, I think I still kind of have to take it. It's because there's almost no problems that speed can't fix. Overextending, I can just kind of speed my way out of it. Bad enemy layouts, I can just speed my way past it. Not hard to willingly pull away from it. In trouble here. I'm good. I think I realistically could go for one of those delay damage items, the plushie I think it's called, because my shield actually provides really decent healing, and I have good healing in general. That if I delay all the damage I take, I could reasonably heal a lot back before I potentially would have died. Who anvils? Oh my god. Should I be focusing on some items by now? I probably should. But... attack is kind of nice. Circle around. I actually don't know what items I'm going to upgrade here. Probably get the beetle to max. I think that's actually all I can do. I can do for items. Sweet! Slow down. Another anvil. That's crazy. What is causing this? Oh, game. Why would you do this to me? I think we take it. It's such a big, it's such a big buff, dude. 40% is crazy, and I mean, I could take the piggy bank instead, but is the piggy bank gives less speed, and it doesn't give haste. So I feel like I just gotta take the energy drink. I can probably get another HP item and live with my mistakes. This is, now I feel fast again, I feel good. Like how I should feel. At 127%? Yeah, I'm back to playing normally now, basically. I'm back to max upgrade speed with water bottle. I feel on top of the world right now. I think realistically, if I knew I was getting the body, the super body pillow, I could have gone the Asakoko injection. In fact, I probably still could. I'm just a little worried about taking it because I feel like it might lead to my death. Like, this is a very punishing rule set, simply because I do not have the stats to kill my way out of the problem, which is what normally can be done. So going for a Asakoko injection where I only have 1 HP at all times seems a little scary, but at the same time my body pillow does heal a good amount, so it might actually out-heal the injection. An HP every 3 seconds. I'll have to look at what the Asakoko does. This is... oh, okay. Pattern. I think we can go the Asakoko, if I find it. Because I take half damage, plus I think 15% reduced damage, so I don't take much in the first place. And then I have a 40 life shield, so I effectively kind of have like 65, 70 health, which is basically the base health of my character. So like, if I'm losing out on survivability, I'm getting so much more attack for it that it might be worth it here. Also, I think none of these items go together. I do have idle glasses, so I probably could work on getting another, like, multiple collabs. I probably could get 2 this game. I don't know what one would be perfect for me, because if I am going to be taking a bunch of damage, I am going to be using the plug type, or the injection. I don't necessarily need some of these. I think the best bet would probably be the Great Wall of Hololive, but that is me missing both items for it, so I think it has to be something here. Of that, Ian's Curse with the bouncy ball, it's fine, but not really for me. The Black Plague would be really good, but that's just because it is good in general. Whammy Water, I have like no idea what that collabs with. I have one of them unlocked. I think the Whammy Water is all going to be stopping enemies from moving, though, like frozen and stuff, which is like pretty bad for me because I need enemies to walk into my fire, so if I stop them from doing that, I'm gonna lose a lot of damage. So I think the Whammy Water is a pass. You plug Asakoko, I could get a few good collabs with. Either the Dragon Fire would be pretty good. The Breathe-In type Asakoko is pretty good. I think that has built-in knockback. That would be fine. Or the... like I said, the Dragon Fire is pretty good. I think we go Dragonfire. We try and get that. Nothing here collabs the note. So we try and get Dragonfire. Plus that fits our theming. I should have thought about that. Our theming is what's most important. We're fire. We need fire items. Fire pit! Fire pit! No. Oh, can you step into my fire pit, sir? Oh, he did. My shield broke at some point. I think I ran into him too much. I'm stressing out a little bit, not gonna lie. Let's get the X potato. I don't ever take the X potato, so I'll make it work. Hey, good kill. Halfway through the stage now. We killed him in decent time, actually. Oh, the gorilla paw would be... Been thinking about this. I don't know if this applies to skills. Huh. I'm trying to look it up, but I'm not getting a bunch of results here on what Gorilla Paw actually does. Attack damage is multiplied by 1.5 times. Okay, well, we'll take it. I don't know if it applies to skills, but it is very good if it does. And we don't have to get the Asakoko injection then, because being multiplied 1.4 times is actually better than what the Asakoko injection can do for us, I think. And because we weren't critting in the first place, we don't have much of a loss. So I'm happy with this decision. Just gonna have to hope it works. It seems like it's definitely working, because my fire is doing a lot of damage. Like 33 per tick, 29 to 33, that's like really good. Yeah, any enemies that step in my path just kind of feel the burn. Feel the burn and missed injections. Also assume it's worth it because my fire leaves sword on the ground beneath enemies, and I'm pretty sure that that is basically like same code and such as the fire I leave behind when I move. Multiplying that damage is like really strong. funny is live streaming like this made me appreciate G Marine's banter a lot more. Her excitement is crazy, because I cannot muster nearly the energy to the degree that she does, and that is a little different because she's just like playing games like with friends, or like playing games she hasn't played before, compared to me who's like doing challenge runs. So, you know, I don't have a lot to be like surprised by or like freak out about. But how she keeps up her energy the entire stream is incredible. I think I can put it up there with her with the amount of yapping I do, but the energy is unmatchable, to put it lightly. Also, I think the fire, I'm definitely not going crazy. I'm pretty sure the fire has gotten bigger the more damage it does. It might just be because I upgraded the skill, and the skill itself just gets bigger when you upgrade it. But it's definitely bigger than it first started for sure. Which is funny that I'm noticing that now. Thought about it, but I didn't comment on it. This is actually the rare time where I'm gonna skip a speed up upgrade. I am more than fast enough at this point. I'm not super worried about dodging anything else, so I use my valuable upgrades on a image here. Try and get a collab item. There it is. I get like a couple kills for a golden anvil. Oh, there it is. This one, like dog? Rap dog! Drop some hot beats where targets hit take 20% more damage. That is actually seems really good, considering my damage is so, like, good screen. A really good area of effect. No Asakoko, additional Asakoko, or knockback. Max Asakoko. And then what goes with the... I was building this for a reason, and I already forgot. I need the fan beam. Not an option. Bammy Water, Ian's Curse, Hollow Bomb, or Sausage. Do any of those go with the... Hollow Bomb does. And, oh, and Sausage does. I actually think the Hollow Bomb might be a better option here. Or the Sausage, because the Lightning Wieners have really good, control. Although Hollow Bomb, I think they're actually both really good items, honestly. We'll go the Lightning Wieners, because they do it less. But yeah, those are both solid options. Just in case. Nice. I might be getting 3 collabs at this rate. I'm getting a lot of XP. I'm getting good amount of kills. Kiara's really good. You can definitely see why she's so respected for this challenge. Am I being carried a little bit on the fact that I got lucky with super item? A little bit. I will not lie. But this is very nice. I don't think I would have ever died so far yet without the body pillow, but it does, you know, it adds a bit of confidence and might save me in the future, hopefully. I can say that's saving me for sure, though, is Kiara's reduced damage she takes with her stacks, combined with the body pillow, does mean I have a lot of room for error in accidentally running into enemies. Oh, see, these are all bad options. I think in this case, we take the Holo Bomb. I don't really want to dilute my item pool, but I also potentially want to get some more damage in, so I think the Holo Bomb's the way to go. Not seen this attack pattern in a while. What is knocking back the enemy? Is that Holo Bombs? No, is it Raptor? Oh, table! It's so used to the architecture of this map that the tables all blend in after 16 minutes of this run. Oh, I don't remember the final boss of the stage. I think it's the Hachima spider, right? I think. It's been a while since I've seen this stage, honestly. I've gotten so used to just grinding out the hard mode of stage 4 that I've forgotten what any stage but stage 4 and stage 5 look like. Stage 5 was the only new stage I haven't done before I got back into the game about a month ago. Hate ranged enemies though. This is definitely, once we get to the harder stages with stage, I think it's 5 that has a lot of ranged enemies, we're gonna have a lot of issues when we're not playing a super fast character without getting some upgrades. Because I don't have a way of dodging projectiles much at low speeds. 3-bit scary, mayhaps. Max sausage. Okay, we just gotta get an anvil here. The good thing is, once we get the anvil, that the Asakoko tails and the sausage are actually not helping me basically at all in terms of survivability and damage, so combining them isn't a big loss defensively speaking. The tails giving knockback is nice, but we should keep that feature with the lightning wiener here. Actually, okay, the damage knockback is gone, but we do have a lot of AoE damage, which is something we already had, so we are just adding on to that for sure. Which I am more than happy about. That is fine with me. AoE damage, what the fuck? AoE damage is good damage still, I think. I'm a little scared now, in all honesty. I'm gonna die. I should just stop talking. Can't see anything because there's so much on my screen. The blue lightning wiener, as awesome as it is extremely distracting. There is so much more on my screen now that I got this dumb item. I can't be mad about it, I chose it, but like, holy shit. Anyways, hollow bombs are nice. Some more damage when enemies get close to me since I'm always running away. We're about to be on the final boss. Is here are bad. Fine, they're fast. It's so hard to see. The explosions from the hollow bombs as well are making this a lot harder to see. Final boss. I think for this, we just go bounce ball. I mean, there's literally nothing I can. No, we do cutting board for the thing, but we're never gonna get it. We're at the end here. Die here, or I win here. that's left to be done, really. This is the phase I'm not looking forward to. I'm just going to keep my distance here. I have enough speed that I can still come back and capitalize on her being really slow. I hate being above her. I can't see jack shit when I'm above her. Really annoying. Be projectile phase? Yep. Way, because I don't really have what it takes to contest the projectiles, really. I don't have a way of destroying them. Dodging that seems like a nightmare when I can hardly see in the first place. Her hitbox, ma'am, is a little hard to digest. Nice. Yeah, that was... Honestly, I think I had less problem with that than stage 2. That was a lot better than I thought it'd be. Kiara is just really, really good, and that super body pillow, I think it actually did end up saving my life maybe 2 or 3 times. I maybe could have survived if I had like just the normal body pillow, for instance, but it definitely did help for sure. And this confirms that all 3 original stages actually are beatable. When the game launched, I don't think there was 3 right away when it launched, but when it started getting any amount of traction, there was only 3 stages in the game, and this was the last one at the time. I can absolutely see this being done at the time without any upgrades. That leaves us with the hard, not the hardest stages, but the ones that were added once the game picked up in some popularity here, 4 and 5. 3 I actually thought would be challenging, but it wasn't that bad. Obviously, I mean, I did fail on it more than any other stage. I failed on it twice. But it wasn't that bad. So that leaves 4 and 5. I think these are actually going to give us some troubles now. 5, I think, is actually maybe easier than 4, but I might only be saying that because I've had speed upgrades. 5 has some really bullshit things that are hard to dodge without some speed, so I don't actually know how well that's going to turn out. We'll give 4 a couple attempts at the good old college try, but I don't plan on streaming for much longer to try and beat it. I think we just kind of call it after a couple losses here. I'm gonna go with Aqua. Aqua has been recommended to me several times when it comes to challenges with, you know, weapons and whatnot, because her main weapon is just kind of absurdly strong. I think she does have a pretty low base speed, if I remember seeing that correctly, but nothing a good old sport water can't fix if we get a little lucky. We are going to go for the standard crit build, because she does build for a crit. So, the answer to the question with can HOLOCURE be beaten without any upgrades? Not to try and curse myself by saying this, but it definitely seems very possible. But I do think it is a decent bit less fun. It's certainly more challenging, for sure. Also, I have a decimal point of health for some reason. But it's definitely more challenging. And I think doing it without stat upgrades itself actually does sound a bit more fun in terms of challenge. But locking myself out of losing the ultimates and the stamps and the weapon modifiers does make me feel sad. Like, I'm missing so much of what this game has added. Like, playing in this mode without any of those extra features is not that different from just playing in version 0.5 and 0.4. Back then, you know, there was no stamps, and there was no, weapon modifiers and whatnot. So I'm just kind of playing the old version of the game right now. And that's fine, the old version of the game is great, but, you know, I'm just kind of playing what I was already playing, and that's been improved upon. There's never been a bad update to HOLOCURE. But missing out on them is kind of, you know, it's kind of weird. Aqua here does come with basically every stat we need for a good run. She has built-in speed modifiers. I died because I played dumb earlier. She's built-in speed modifiers, attack modifiers, infinite hit projectile, a lot of projectiles, big AoE. I think she's pretty unanimously agreed upon to have basically the best main fire in the game, if not the best kit in the game, just like in general. Especially when doing challenges like no weapons and no items. I will say I might be wrong in assuming that, because I don't read too much about the game. But from what it seems, I mean, like, she kind of has every stat you could want, basically. And missing out on her ultimate actually isn't that big of a deal, because I don't think her ultimate is very good, to be honest. I'll have to find a way to, you know, promote my channel a little bit, get some views in here. Because, you know, I'm not really doing this for views for streaming. Like I said, it's kind of more just for a YouTube video itself, but it'd be nice to not talk to myself as much. If I want to place any burden of my boredom on anyone else, but it is kind of weird. It's been a while since I've done streaming. I was just hoping that because my thumbnail is so bad, and because there's just a random-ass box with a cat in it in the corner, I was kind of hoping that people would be like, wow, why is there a box in the corner? And then people would be like, yeah, I gotta check this out. And, you know, mayhaps also wishful thinking. It is what it is. I signed up for it, especially because I chose such an unpopular game. People love this game, don't get me wrong. It has one of the highest ratings on Steam. It's, you know, it's very well made. People praise it all the time, but it's also very niche. I guarantee you, despite being one of the most popular games on Steam ratings-wise, I guarantee you like 99% of Steam players haven't heard of this before. Because it is just such a niche topic. I did think about streaming the new game Haste. It's a speedrunning game released by Landfall Studios, the guys that do like tabs and whatnot, because I think that's a really cool game, honestly. I tried to avoid watching too much on it because I wanted to surprise myself with the content. So I bought the game a little bit ago, and I was deciding between streaming that and streaming this. And ultimately, I decided to stream on this because I do want to at least start with this, because, as I said, it's all in service for making a YouTube video about this. So I wanted to start off on the right foot with being like, hey, you know, actually kinda want to take things seriously, at least to an extent, on making my first video. And I figured that if I start with haste, I might kind of give people the wrong idea of what I'm going to be about. Because while I do want to eventually transition into more Let's Player kind of things, I also just kind of want to do challenge content, and just like playing a game normally for my first ever stream, despite being a challenge YouTuber, hopefully, would be a little strange. I mean, I don't think anyone would care, but it's just kind of like a me thing, I suppose. I wanted to start off on the right foot myself. I don't know what the red enemy line is for. Also, I have no healing in my kit, which I realized not too long ago. I think the red line is enemy speed being buffed, which is not ideal for me, but, you know, it is. If we can find a water bottle, we're still definitely going to take it, because I need more speed consistently. Boss has been alive for like 2 minutes now, I think. I don't think I'm going to be killing it anytime soon. Definitely a lack of stamp issue. Stamps would have made this a breeze by now. I definitely could have killed the boss, but I'm kind of stuck just infinitely harming it while it very quickly heals back from that dumb healer guy. Well, that fixed the healing issue, I suppose. Not exactly the way I wanted to do that. And now I got damage, so this should be a lot faster. If I can survive, that is. I still don't have any sort of healing or speed. Missed the small bit in my kit. Oh, study glasses. Better late than never. Really? That is an awful pattern. I kind of hoped it would just kind of like despawn right away. Do one more. I think I just gotta get, you know, we're at the point now especially where I just kind of have to get lucky on my starting upgrades and pray for something that, I would say something that increases speed, but my only option is the sport water, so I just gotta pray for sport water and a body pillow, realistically. Solo life is pretty good. The speed upgrade is not best or super consistent, but it is speed nonetheless. Will say, there it is. Perfect. Okay. Don't throw. Don't throw, Salmon. Don't throw. I don't think Aqua has my favorite main fire weapon in the game, but it definitely is close. I'm not a big fan of its presentation. Not a big fan of the maid aesthetic either, but the arc at which it flies at and throwing it up to hit multiple enemies in an arc is really satisfying, I will admit. It's just a bit more lacking in terms of presentation and like oomph to it. Also, like third, fourth upgrade classes have a big find. Only fear is that, as we found out earlier, my damage is basically non-existent until I get the final upgrade on the brooms. So if I can't manage to get to that before the bosses spawn, I'm gonna be screwed. And unfortunately, I'm definitely not gonna get to that spot before the boss spawns. I'm just not really... I think I'm capable of that without some really, really good luck. I want to level up the energy drink, but I gotta get the broom to max as fast as I can. So this guy's already here. And he's going to be here for a very long time, because I don't really have a way of disposing of him. Fortunate. Should've gotten the glasses. Really use any healing item right now. I wouldn't be that picky at the moment. I mean, ideally it's the body pillar for the shield, but I will take what I can get at the moment. I am quite scared. This is definitely a moment where I would very much like to have an ultimate, and do not have an ultimate. I just need to clear this field. Woo! Ignore this one. Oh, wow, okay. My bad. I didn't have to do that. I was kind of hoping I could just slide right through them. And emerge unscathed, but they do seem to do a lot of damage. So this just proves I got a lot of work ahead of me on these last two stages, as I expected. As for my future outlook on them, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it is doable. It certainly is going to be an uphill battle for a while. So I'll figure it out when the time comes. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you to my me for doing this. I don't know. I should be streaming again tomorrow. Don't know for how long or when I'll start, but it might be more of this. I might go take a quick detour to play Haste, since I do want to play that game and stream it somewhat soon, since it like just came out. Hopefully get a little bit of traction off that. If not, I'll just play a game I've been looking forward to. Win-win. So I'll look into that, see what happens. This challenge is pretty fun. Like I said earlier, I do think missing out on the ultimates is probably the most sad part for this run, because it just feels like something that your character should base have, and lacking it is just kind of, it does ruin the character variety a little bit, in my opinion. And then for like substantial losses, obviously I've talked about it before, the lack of movement speed is a really big difference. The crit is minus 10% less. It's pretty substantial in a lot of ways. It does make it so a lot of melee builds can't be as crit focused in general. Damage of skill attacks per level. This one's pretty big, especially for characters like Fubuki, so to miss out on that is a lot. The XP gain loss is a really big one. That one going down, or just getting 20% less XP in general, that makes the game quite a bit harder, in all honesty. Otherwise, everything else here isn't actually that big of a loss. The pickup range is inconvenient, but not too bad. The defense up isn't a huge difference. It is quite sad to lose, but it's not that big of a deal. The regeneration is not... It kind of depends where you are in the run. Early on, not that. It's a pretty big of a deal early on because you don't have any way of regenerating health, but for characters that regen health naturally, or just when you get items that do regen health, it becomes less and less of an issue. So, big issue early on, smaller issue depending on your character, non-issues late game, basically. Everything else here, not that big of a deal. Fan litter is not a big deal. Phantom not a big deal. Enchantments, a bit of a sad loss in terms of just like personal preference, but doesn't actually make that much of a difference gameplay wise. And having supports off is really bad because supports are basically the only get out of jail free cards in the game if you don't have a character that just has built-in invincibility. And I don't think I can do some of the hard mode stages without supports. I think it is just like almost flat out impossible once we get to stage 4 to avoid lightning on hard mode. So without supports, without any speed upgrades, I can genuinely see the challenge ending at hard mode 3 if we get there. And then as for like my personal biggest loss, losing out on stamps is really sad because I think stamps add a lot of fun variety to the game, and losing them is pretty killer on my enjoyment, to be honest. But otherwise, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for watching again, me, and potentially the other person in the stream. I actually can't really tell if there's another person, but if you've been watching, as long as YouTube tells me you've been watching, you are insane, and I appreciate it. That's all, and